Hey guys, welcome back to Home. In today's video, we are going to be doing a few outdoor projects, and we're going to be starting with a project I have teased, and we just had it finished, but we're going to be finishing it today. We're actually going to be making a table to attach next to the pool for drinks and things when we have some of our adult friends over or when my husband and I are just swimming. And we tried to do it really budget friendly, so we're actually using these little wire trash cans from Dollar Tree and then just some scrap wood that we already had. Now, this is not a long-term solution because, well, Dollar Tree products, especially their wire trash cans, are not exactly the most perfectly made things ever, but we had hunted for a table online and we couldn't find anything tall and thin enough, exactly the size that we needed, and we just wanted something for this season. We will probably be doing something different next season when we put the pool back up, but this is going to work perfectly for us for right now. So I just took two trash cans upside down and zip tied them together. Let me know if you're having trouble finding zip ties at your local Dollar Tree, because I could always find them there, and for some reason it's been a big struggle bus to find them. I am then going to attach two of those sets together and then put a top on. Now, I wish I would not have put one of them on because I actually need to take it off later to attach the wood piece, but we will get to that at that moment when we get there. I used about 3 to 5 zip ties, just depending on how wonky or wobbly each basket was. If it was a little bit kind of skewed from the other one, I did have to use more zip ties to get a tighter fit.
I really wanted to get it right, trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart.
That top piece I should have left off because I'm going to have to take it off anyway, but here is what the legs look like so far. Taking a little clipperoonie.
Wish that someone could say,
Clipperoonie.
it'll all be okay. Just
My secret
listen
lover.
to me as I say.
Room.
Listen to me as I
Do this by hand.
Oh, maybe I could have got the clamps for you. We actually used the wood that we had used to level out when we did the pool. We had an extra piece of that really long wood, so he just cut it down, made some pocket holes so you couldn't see them, and just screwed a bunch of pieces of wood together. And I got to use my sander for the first time. My husband got me this for Christmas, and I have yet to really been able to use it, and I absolutely love it. Highly suggest an Orbital sander. It is much better than like the rectangular cheap sander that I had before. Now, it did take a long time to sand this because the wood was kind of bowed and uneven. I did have to do a lot of sanding to get it to kind of like even out, and you can tell it's still a little bit wonky, but we were really just trying to use what we had to make it work for us for this season. We didn't want to go out and spend a bunch of money because we've been doing a lot of home projects and things lately, and we were trying to cut costs. So while this table is not going to be perfect, there's always a way for you to cut cost and get what you want and still have it look halfway decent, especially if you only need it to last for a season.
if you want it, cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth. I never left a stone unturned.
Then it was time for the staining, and we picked an outdoor stain, like an outdoor deck stain, and just got a kind of little sample of it, and this is black walnut. If I can find it, I will have it linked down below for you guys in case you're interested. We just wanted to make sure that it kind of withstood the season and all the rain and stuff that we have been getting here, so we wanted to do something that was meant for the exterior. I didn't sand the bottom, and the stain definitely went on kind of gross on the bottom, but I wasn't really worried about that because you weren't going to see it as much, but I did want it all to match. I really focused on sanding the top and the sides, since those are the parts that you are really going to see. Many days later, it was time for me to take that top piece off that I said I should have left off. So if you do try this, just put the 4 pieces together and leave that one piece off, because we are going to have to attach 2 of these baskets to the actual piece of wood. Now, I did make quite a few mistakes. when doing this. My first mistake was I was supposed to put the wood like inside the basket, not underneath it. So I had originally put it underneath it, but it wasn't holding very well. My second big mistake was that I did not drill holes first, and I ended up splitting the little like connector piece that my husband had cut for me, and I had so painstakingly stained and waited for it to dry. So I smartened up and I went ahead and I did some holes. And yeah, I still have it on the bottom, and he told me later, no, you were supposed to put it inside of the basket. It's much sturdier that way. So if you do try this, go ahead and do it that way. We were trying to figure out how to attach this, and this seemed to be the most sturdy option to get it to attach and not have it be too flimsy, since these are wire baskets. After I had this little small piece here, I did pre-drill holes on this one. I'm just going to stain it while it's right inside of the basket. I didn't want to have to wait for it like to dry again, because this project was supposed to be done a long time ago, and it was just kind of like sitting around for a while, and I wanted to get it up and running and ready to use. Then I just had to zip tie the stack of baskets back on top.
Trying to find some love in this crazy world. I feel like I was never hurt. All I wanted was to be loved.
It was kind of tricky to figure out exactly where to put this. I originally wanted it right here, but when I looked from the patio, I didn't like the look of that. It was like directly behind the wood pool rule sign that I had made, so I decided to move it over a little bit. Attaching it was a little bit tricky. We originally were going to use like the stakes like in the ground going through the wire baskets, but with the rocks there, we didn't think that would work very well. And having all of those rocks did kind of make it difficult to get this like level and even and not like bobbing around. If it was just a very thin leg, it would have worked a lot better. But we did decide to go ahead and use zip ties and zip tie it to the actual bars of the pool. So on the top, I zip tied each side so it was nice and sturdy, and then I did use a zip tie on one of the legs just to keep it from moving around. I'm also going to be showing you a trick if your zip ties are not long enough, because mine were not, how you can make them longer.
Was to be loved.
I was definitely getting exhausted at this point because I had been doing a lot on this day. I was getting eaten alive out here with the mosquitoes, and I was having a lot of trouble with the zip ties. So this is a temporary solution, like I said, so we're totally okay with it. But you might want to find a better way to attach yours if you do try this, or just be prepared for your legs to be on fire and burning, because it was very difficult to get the zip ties through the wire baskets, which I did experience while I was building it. I just didn't think it was going to be so difficult when I went to attach it to the pool. While I was out here, I decided to go ahead and clean up a little bit. I watered my flowers that are my plants that aren't doing so well, and then put the hose up. And it's cute. I like it. And we can definitely set drinks and other things on top, and it's going to be really convenient for this summer season. We are not done with the outside projects yet because we are still painting. In the previous video, I had shared that I was painting the bottom of the house white to brighten it up. I will have that video linked down below in case you missed that yard makeover that we did. But I still had some more painting that I needed to do, so I wanted to go ahead and wrap that up so I could go ahead and put the paint away and be done with painting the outside. And I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys. I was very messy with this. I got paint all over the grass. I had grass and mud stuck in my paintbrush. It was just a cheap Dollar Tree paintbrush. I really wanted to brighten this up, and I wasn't worried about taping everything off or making everything perfect. I just wanted to brighten up the area. So real life here, I did not do a perfect job on this at all, but it still looks absolutely amazing coming from the color it was coming from. So I just used that same raggedy paintbrush and the same raggedy roller that had grass and dirt and everything on it, and just went ahead about life because it was hot and I was wore out, and I just really wanted everything white, and I just wasn't too concerned about the crazy details. Our next project is going to be to lay some sand in here. So I started by shop vacuuming all of the stuff out of the inside. We need our driveway redone. We just do, but we cannot afford it. It is a huge, huge expensive project, and it's just not in the cards for us. So we are trying something to kind of make it a little bit better and make it last a little bit longer. Now, originally I did get paver sand, and it was just a bunch of rocks. So I do not suggest doing that. It was actually a giant waste. I used one bag right here, and then we ended up taking the other 4 bags back. That was my bad. I got the wrong sand. I will have the correct sand linked in the description box down below, because you need a specific sand that is going to harden up after you get it wet. So it's kind of like concrete, but maybe not as strong as concrete. We didn't want to have to do a bunch of concrete and mixing and everything. This was actually a really easy process for us to just do this sand, because you lay it down, you sweep it on, and you smooth it out. So this step I'm doing right here with the paver sand, unless you have really, really deep cracks and crevices like we did just a second ago, I would totally skip this step. It was not worth the money at all. We are now switching to the front. This space looked so bare to me after I got the mulch in it that I went and grabbed this pot from Dollar Tree and some faux florals, and I just wanted to bring a little bit more greenery and life up to the other side of the stairs when you enter our home.
Listen to me as I say.
Let's talk about this sunshade. I had mentioned it in a previous video, and I was so excited about it, and I actually filmed for like ever trying to get this up, and it's not going to work. It's too long to go from our little poles to the house, but I wanted to leave this clip in here so that you could see me struggle and see the frustration on my face when I realized an hour and a half into this project it was not going to work. So I put it back in the box. We will save it for a different year, or maybe we will figure out a different way to put it up. But my frustration was real because I was out here sweating and I really wanted this sunshade, but we just didn't have enough space. We'd have to actually like make poles and put them further away. It just didn't seem quite worth it. But I wanted to leave this in here just to prove that every project you do does not always work out, and it's okay to throw in the towel on a project and revisit it later. And yes, it is like 10:30 at night. Here, guys, this is the sand that you're going to need. Again, I'll have it linked down below because I can't remember the name of it. But you just pour it in and then you just sweep it in all of the cracks and crevices, making sure it's not on your flat surface that you're not trying to fill. So since David knew how to do this, he completely took over this project, and I just kind of cleaned up and, you know, helped him out and pulled a few extra weeds and everything. We wanted to do a test patch to see if it was going to work, and it actually worked really well. Now, because this crack right here was so big, it took a really long time to harden, and we were very worried, like a few days, but it finally did harden. So we are going to be doing the rest of our driveway, since the rest of our driveway has smaller cracks. But this is a good fix if you have like a cracked patio or something like that that you want to fix, but you don't want to mix concrete and you don't have the money for someone to come fix it. It is a temporary fix. I would assume it's not going to last forever, but it's going to work for us and our budget right now. want to make sure you don't do this project when it's raining, which sounds weird because he's watering it, but you want to do a mist to get everything wet. You don't want it to be like pouring down rain and washing all the sand out that you just spent all that time putting in. But you do need to get it nice and wet with the mist setting on your hose, because that's what allows the sand to harden up. So that's what he's doing right here. He's spraying all the parts that he filled so that as it dries out, it can harden up and help our driveway not look so crazy. And hopefully it'll help with the weeds that usually grow there as well that you saw me pull out in the previous video. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. We hope you found it helpful or at least entertaining. Make sure you check out the video and the playlist on the screen. And as always, smash that subscribe button so you can become part of our YouTube family. Bye!